reporting that, people have been brutalized. A cardiothoracic surgeon, one of the very few in the country, had been arrested and all of that. And, lives were affected, families of patients were distressed. Now, first, to establish this, a hospital is a place of healing. That's why it's called hospice. It's a place where people get healing, they get succor. For such a location to be turned into a battleground for whatever reason, for a tear gas zone, it's not acceptable. You cannot justify that in any way. But the EFCC then issued a statement signed by Dele Oyewale, the spokesperson for the EFCC, saying that whatever happened there was just a merely administrative exercise to authenticate a document, a medical certificate that had been issued, and that, nobody was arrested and no arrests were carried out. But of course, the public naturally became very concerned about whatever may have transpired there. And so I think it's a good development that the state government intervened, a meeting of all the stakeholders involved, including the JOHESU members, sector unions, that went on strike in response, that a meeting was called at the ESCO chambers of the Akwa Ibom state government in Uyo. And all the stakeholders that were there, the Nigerian Medical Association, the teaching hospital staff, the JOHESU union, the state government, all of them, and the EFCC and other security agencies met, and we saw that video. And some of the resolutions at that meeting, the key part of it was the representatives of the EFCC apologizing that whatever happened was unfortunate and that was not deliberate, and that they were promising that that will not happen again. 2, all the stakeholders at that meeting agreed to embrace dialogue. 3, the state government also agreed that, it would wade into the matter and make sure that those persons, whoever may have, doctored a medical certificate or issued a false certificate, will be investigated and brought to justice. 4, the EFCC also said that they had already launched an investigation into the matter to determine what exactly happened. And other stakeholders said, well, whatever the outcome of that investigation should be made public and shared with other stakeholders in the spirit of transparency. 5, a committee, a joint committee, was also set up at that meeting to monitor the outcome, the implementation of the resolutions at that meeting. 6, the JOHESU unions that had gone on strike then decided that they will call off the strike, on the basis of which, the teaching hospital has now returned to a full operation. But at the end of the day, the people who will bear the brunt of all this, what you call the clash of institutions, will be the families of persons who lost their lives, those who were affected by the tear gas that dominated that moment of crisis. And the least that we can say is that these precautions should be taken to make sure that this kind of situation does not occur again.
Absolutely.
Because when we measure institutional conflict or disruption of processes in a place of healing, you measure it in terms of the effect on those who were directly affected by this. So on all sides, whether stakeholders or the state government or EFCC, there are lessons that can be extracted from the experience. And we hope that those lessons will be properly learnt.
All right. Rufai, you had a quick comment.
Okay, I have a quick comment. I think the strike is not over because I'm getting a message from MDCA and of UT. They had another emergency meeting yesterday evening where they reviewed the strike and they said they were going to continue. That after extensive deliberation, they noted that the EFCC offered verbal apology, but observed with deep reluctance of the EFCC to tender an unreserved written apology and publish same in national dailies over the unfortunate invasion of UT HH Hospital. So I think this matter is not over.
Where is this coming from?
I got this from an intel, from the university teaching hospital, which I didn't say. I got it from one of their consultants here, and this was an emergency meeting held. Communication at the end of the emergency joint meeting of MADCAN, UTT, and ARD held on Sunday, 17th May 2026. So that's a new update as regards the matter.
Well, they had this meeting too on Sunday. They were all there as well.
As regards my comments on this, Oji, please. I want them to still go to court and take the EFCC to task.
That 1 billion, eh?
It's not today EFCC has been doing it. They will never stop because of this. Until we teach EFCC a lesson. They do it to personal individuals, like all of us. So it's their modus operandi. Until you take them to tax, they should not collect that apology from EFCC. Now today.
All right.
Now today. The lives that I've lost. So an apology will bring back people, Oji.
Like I said, apology that came too late.